Hello and welcome to this webinar on cloud optimization. My name is Philip Kislik. I am working as a senior product manager at Swisscom in Switzerland. Let me also introduce my co-host, as there is Wuming Zhang. He is a senior cloud architect and one of a few AWS APN ambassador also working at Swisscom. Last but not least, I'm very excited to also welcome Andrew Robinson from AWS. Andrew is a senior solution architect at Amazon Web Services based in the UK. As part of the WellArchitected team, Andrew is the Geo lead for the WellArchitected across EMEA. Before we start, I would also highlight that whenever you have a question or a feedback, please feel free to contact us anytime, either via email listed here or find further information on our website www.swisscom.ch/AWS. So let's kick it off. Let me first say a few words about Swisscom. Swisscom is Switzerland's leading telecom company, and also one of its leading IT companies is headquartered in Ittigen, close to the capital city of Bern. Outside Switzerland, Swisscom has a presence on the Italian market in the guise of Fastweb. To the end of the first quarter 2020, 19,100 employees generated sales of 2.737 billion. In Switzerland, Swisscom offers residential customers an extensive range of digital TV, mobile telecommunications, and other services. In the B2B segment, its portfolio includes network, cloud, and ICT services. The strategy is aiming to deliver best quality network, pioneering innovations, and a strong commitment to Switzerland. Swisscom business customers, where Wuming and myself are part of, works together with customers to develop future-oriented solutions supported by one of the most comprehensive ICT portfolios in Switzerland. This includes cloud, outsourcing, workplace, and Internet of Things solutions. One of our main pillars is the cloud and data center offering that we provide. Swisscom has built up a cloud center of excellence with over 250 experts, about 50 of them focusing on the global public clouds. As an AWS advanced consulting partner, we offer robust expertise ranging from the design, implementation, migration, up to managed services of your cloud solution. To highlight also is that we are the certified well-architected review partner in Switzerland. Let's head now to today's webinar topic. Cloud optimization is for sure a topic every one of us came across once he started using the cloud, made the first steps, and gets the first bill. So if you're not on Cloud 9 with your clouds yet, we will go through war with you. Today, more and more companies moving to the cloud with their workloads. This mostly due to different reasons. The complete range of services, the flexibility and scalability for sure are one of them. But also improved security or cost optimization are reasons for customers to move to the cloud. Some do first proof of concepts, some are migrating workloads, some are already heavily using services from the platform or started cloud native right away. After a while, the IT environment gets more and more complex. Often, the initial goals are not fully achieved, and many customers ask themselves the question, am I doing the right thing? That's where it is the right time to think about cloud optimization and the well-architected framework, which leads me to hand over to Andrew, who will tell you more about it.
That's great. Thank you for inviting me along, Philip and Wuming. Great to be here today. As Philip said earlier, my name's Andrew Robinson. I'm a senior solutions architect at AWS and part of the WellArchitected team. The pieces that I wanted to go through in this session really are focusing on what WellArchitected is and some of the ways in which our customers are using it. So WellArchitected started at AWS around 12 years ago when we started asking the question of our customers, are you well architected? We fully understood that there were a lot of customers who were new to AWS, who were coming from a traditional on-premises environment where some of the constraints that you may be familiar with no longer exist in the cloud, and the way in which you architect and build on the cloud is significantly different to how you do it on premises. So we've collected together 12 years worth of tribal knowledge from our customers, from our partners, from our solution architects, from our professional services consultants, our engineering teams, our support engineers, and really brought all of that together into this framework that our customers and our partners can use to not only assess your workload against those best practices, but also to gain an understanding about how you should be building on the cloud and what some of those architectural lessons are. So the framework itself consists of 5 pillars, and these are operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization. Each one of these pillars is broken down into a number of different areas, and these areas then form what our best practices are for them. What the way to think about these is if you think about creating a technology solution is a lot like constructing a physical building. If the foundations of that building aren't solid, it could cause issues later that undermine the integrity and the function of that building. In the same light, neglecting the 5 pillars of operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization when architecting a technology solution means that it can become a challenge to build a system that delivers the functional requirements and meets your expectations. We've seen customers be more successful when they incorporate these pillars, and it helped them to produce stable and efficient systems, which meant that you can focus on the functional requirements rather than spending time on some of that undifferentiated heavy lifting. So I mentioned there about the 5 pillars that make up the well-architected framework. What we've done is broken down each of these pillars into what we call design principles. These are the broad guidance that we offer, that we've seen our customers be successful with around how to implement that specific pillar and the design principles that that pillar stands for. Each one of those design principles is then broken down into a number of questions. At the moment, there are 46 questions that make up the well-architected framework. And each one of these questions is designed to assess where your workload sits against those design principles that make up the different pillars. As such, you can use well-architected as a method to assess your workload, find out where some of those gaps may exist from, and be able to then work out what you need to do to make improvements to address some of those concerns. So I also wanted to talk a little bit here about the intent of the review and also about our well-architected partner program. So we formed the well-architected partner program at reInvent in 2018. And we built the partner program because we were finding from our customers that whilst they were able to use the well-architected tool to find out where those gaps were, they didn't necessarily always have the time, the skills, the resources to be able to make those improvements that were needed. So we have figured out that our partners were a great way of being able to help our customers with this. And we launched the well-architected partner program, in which we as AWS train and enable selected AWS partners to be able to carry out reviews and improvements against the well-architected framework for our customers. I'm pleased to announce that Swisscom are an authorized AWS well-architected partner, and at the time of recording, they are the only authorized well-architected partner who are headquartered within Switzerland. What we've found from the partner program in the 1.5 years that we've been running for now is our partners have made a significant impact on helping our customers to remove high-risk issues from their workload that are highlighted by well-architected, and they've been able to make not only those improvements, but also help our customers to integrate well-architected into how they're building solutions. So we're not just applying a band-aid fix, we're actually changing the way that our customers are building. And that's a really valuable lesson. With the review itself, it's important to state This is not an audit. The overall objective of the review is to improve outcomes. It's to make you aware of where those best practices are, make you aware of where there are potential risks based on how you've architected that solution, and work together with AWS, with a partner such as Swisscom, and with your engineering teams and your business leaders to improve that workload and remove those risks before they have an impact. I mentioned earlier where this advice came from. We fully appreciate at AWS that not everybody, including those of us at AWS, are architectural astronauts. The advice that we provide in AWS is not our opinion. It is not us in our ivory tower telling you this is how you must build. It is proven, pragmatic advice. It is what we have seen our customers tell us actually helps them. So all those best practices, all those questions, all those design principles are based directly on customer and partner feedback, supplemented by AWS specialists, such as our solutions architects, our professional services consultants, and our engineering teams. Once you've taken that advice, it's important to remember that this is not a one-time check. Once you've reviewed that workload, you should continually review it again. We recommend typically every 6 months is normally a good timescale. The reason that we recommend this is we release new services, new features, new functionality that could help our customers. Your business objectives may change. Your requirements placed on that workload may change. And because of that, it's important to make sure that we don't just do this as a one-time check, that we do it throughout the life cycle of that workload. So as new risks potentially emerge, you're able to identify them sooner and be able to take action to mitigate the impact that that risk could have, or remove that risk completely from your workload. We have seen teams at both our customers and our partners use WellArchitected Framework to really help them understand the state of their workload and help them understand how they can then make improvements to bring that workload closer to alignment with our best practices. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for your time, and I'll hand over now to Woo Ming, who's going to talk a little bit more about how Swisscom have used WellArchitected.
So thank you, Andrew, for explaining the comprehensive benefit of doing WellArchitected. The process of the WellArchitected review, it starts with schedule a meeting with AWS or a partner. We sit down together and discuss a particular workload, ask questions in each pillar related to the workload, such as how do we secure the data in at the rest and so on. And later, after that meeting, we come back with concrete suggestions of what can be improved. So Swisscom participated in the WellArchitected program back in the year 2018. Over the years, we made about 40 WellArchitected reviews with remediations with different customers. We can see that AWS clients in all different industries, big and small, from banking to traditional manufacturing and so on. So obviously, the different company have a mixed focus on the 5 WellArchitected pillars, as well as their maturity and the priorities in the journey to the cloud. So we broke down the overall statistics and focus on some of the interesting trends. To repeat what Andrew already said, this is a review, not an audit. We look at the high-risk issue in different pillars, and as well we can improve and focus on, rather than, oh no, this is how bad we're doing. So for example, banking and insurance companies are usually very good at the security, while the media and e-commerce companies are doing pretty well on performance and reliability. The most common reactions we get during the WellArchitected review are, wow, really? There is a service to do that? Or, oh, we didn't know that we could even do that in the cloud. So the review workshop usually spark a lot of ideas, new solutions, and help the customer to think about what and how they can improve. There's always some immediate actions that our customer take directly after the review. It has happened a few times that our customer enabled guard duty after the review and later told us that malicious code or a vulnerability in a legacy web service has been found by guard duty that they could take urgent action to limit the blast radius. Through our remediation, we have lowered high-risk issues significantly, and the customer can sleep well at night. So we can always find a place to improve. So this is the main differences between WellArchitected Framework and some other framework. WellArchitected is really focused on being practical. We recommend our customer with actionable and sizable mandate. It does not need to be a giant project to get started with the improvement. So when we look at the most common improvement that we have done for our customer, there are areas of the operations, security, and the cost optimization. In the operation excellence, CloudWatch and the patch management tools from AWS are often overlooked by the customers. Most companies have either cloud native or homebrewed deployment method to the production. The majority are using very little CloudWatch for monitoring, metrics, and logs. It is very straightforward and can get onboarded without much effort. Patch management is another area which is also related to the security. Some customers are using managed container services who thought this didn't apply to them until they find out that container can also be vulnerable. Depends on the customers and use case, there are different recommendations about how to improve. For example, Elastic Container Registry Scanner is a great tool to scan container image for security flaws. Beside the patch management, what we often see in the security pillar are related to the essential security practices. All medium and large companies with a separation of the duties are recommended to use AWS organizations, where they can separate accounts for production, testing, and development, setting up proper IAM roles and groups, service control policies, AWS config, billing alarms, and centralized guard duty or CloudTrail can be complicated sometimes if you're not used to it. So we support our customer on this task so they can focus on their core business. Another area in security where we see most companies are not yet ready is how to deal with a security incident when something terribly happens. There are companies with their InfoSec team, but not yet aligned with their cloud business, or just not having enough resource to identify the key personnel and the tooling and the incident response plan. Coming from telecom with a lot of compliance and the legal requirement, we always try to help our customer to identify their threat landscape and advise them to think when disaster happens and how they should protect their business. So often when we were in contact with a C-level person or a product manager, cloud spending is one of their favorite topics. While the developer in the same meeting, this is their least favorite topic. When we dive a little bit deeper on their cost drivers and the potential solution that requires software change, the developer usually gets more excited. This usually involves not only scale up, also scale down. We know the power of the cloud and unlimited scale of horizontal or vertical, but how do we scale? How do we use a service more efficient by making it stateless and scalable and only pay per use instead of having a machine running underutilized? Those challenges attract the developers and the technical professional to work with us on finding a smart solution. A typical design anti-pattern we saw in both performance and the cost pillar is putting IoT telemetry data in the RDS database. It is easy and quick, but customer end up with a large database by paying a lot of for the data that they rarely use. So we can quantify the effect of those architecture changes, not only cloud spending, such as using reserved instance or saving plans, also the staff productivities, operation resilience, or less downtime or speed to market. So most important is the business agility by using the right service at the right place with the loosely coupled dependencies. So let's look at a concrete example from our experience. One customer in the healthcare working with the highly regulated hospitals and the surgeons is using a customer-built virtual desktop infrastructure solution during the review. To set up the VDI from scratch, even by using a third-party appliance, the customer still need an additional domain controller, firewall, access gateway, and file sharing service, and so on. So in the end, the system itself became a burden to the customer. When we start digging deeper on the patch management, security enhancement, and how they plan to keep updated with the compliance, it clearly became an issue for the customer. So we recommended and implemented AWS Workspaces, which is already HIPAA eligible and PCI compliant for the customer. It took away the majority operation load of the customer. They can focus on developing their application that is running inside the Windows environment. The user data is automatically backed up, automatically started with a Lambda, and stopped with auto stop. So the solution simplified from having 4 to 5 different EC2 running the VDI to only one or to only the managed service. We saw an improvement in operational excellence because there's just less to operate and just to consume the workspace and let AWS handle the rest. Security, where the EBS is encrypted and attack surface is reduced. We also see a drop of the cloud cost. Even in the beginning, we saw the workspace cost more if we have to run them 24/7. But most people didn't need to run. Most people didn't work 24/7. And additionally, to counter the Active Directory, file server, and VDI server. So in the end, workspace are just entirely better and more cost efficient. The reliability is also improved because AWS hosted Active Directory has definitely better SLA than homebrewed Active Directory. Another favorite example is a software as a service company using Elastic Beanstalk to make a white label or multi-tenant application. They started a couple of years ago. They choose to use Elastic Beanstalk to avoid manage a server, relies on auto-scaling and deployment and orchestration, which is a great choice. Their business has grown over the years, and they came to us for a WellArchitected review, and we found that they spend more money on a classic load balancer than an EC2. That's just crazy. A classic load balancer costs about $20 per month compared to a T3 small costs only $15 on demand price per month. We need to respect they started small and expanded over the time. And sometimes the original design needs an update. The new objective is to reduce the cost and keep the same minimal overhead, same or better reliability and performance for them. And we advise the customer to leverage from AWS Fargate, demonstrated how to convert their existing application to Docker and take advantage of the Fargate and application load balancer. So instead of having 40 classic load balancers, later with the saving plans, the customer was able to save up to 60% after migrating from the Elastic Beanstalk to Fargate without trade-off on operation, reliability, or performance. So over the last year, helping customer and collaborate with AWS, we learned a lot together with our customers. The first and the most important one is Nobody's perfect. No one in the world knows all the services that are available on AWS. So it is crucial to have a conversation with someone, either directly with AWS or with a partner who can have a second opinion. By having access to the cloud expert will save both time and money. Do it yourself is certainly possible, but we need to balance the trade-off, time to market and so on. Leverage the competence and knowledge from us. Your business is unique, but your problem is likely not. Swisscom has a tradition to focus on the security, and AWS is exceptional serious on the security in the cloud. So we see this is also an area that where the customer might not be thinking about in the very beginning in their cloud journey. Therefore, do not wait to catch up on this area when it is too late. So the good news is there are plenty of the service to be ready to use, from web application firewall to AWS fraud detector, for example. And the last lesson learned is about cloud spending. It is much more than just buying reserved instance or saving plans. It is about to understand what is driving the cloud cost. Are we using the right type of the storage, network, or optimize the compute? Can we scale up and scale down and leverage the spot instance? The final goal of the cost optimization is to reach unit economy. It's not about cost, it's about the value obtained by each unit of cost. So with many years cloud experiences, we believe we can help many customers in all different industrials together with AWS. And with that, thanks for listening, and back to you, Philip.
Thank you, Wu Ming. As you can see, the well-architected review is really a great thing to keep your cloud up to date. Let's look now a bit closer on the services Swisscom can offer to customers. The foundation of our cloud optimization as a service is based on a consulting or professional services mandate delivered by our certified cloud architects. They help customers analyze their cloud environment, give recommendations, and help them implement the necessary changes. This could be regarding optimizing your spend by giving you hints how to reduce cost, right size, or use savings plans, for example. Or they can help by examining the most important safety relevant aspects and mitigate risks. Also, for frameworks like WellArchitected Review or FinOps, Swisscom can provide advice on how to drive more value out of your cloud spend. All this to ensure that you can stay continuously optimized. Finally, let's talk about the key takeaways of the webinar. First, cloud optimization is not a one-off thing, but needs a continuous effort and collaboration of the whole company. Secondly, frameworks like WellArchitected or FinOps can help you to align with good practices and to continuously improve your cloud. Last but not least, an experienced and trusted partner like Swisscom is key to successfully drive your cloud journey and can help you to overcome the painful hurdles. There's one more thing. I'm very excited to offer you a special promotion for the WellArchitected Review from Swisscom. You can benefit from a free half-day review with one of our cloud architects. Select a workload and he will lead you through the review and you get a report of concrete and actionable recommendations. If you choose to engage with Swisscom for the remediation and implementation of the changes, you can benefit from AWS service credits worth up to $5,000 that you can spend on your AWS bill. Get in touch with us and schedule a review now. Details can be found on our website www.swisscom.ch/wellarchitected. With this, we have come to an end of this webinar. Thank you very much for your attention and goodbye.